All right, our second parable is the prodigal son. This is Luke 15:11 through 32. Now, sometimes, I used to have a problem with the prodigal son. Kid goes out, spends all his money, and the other dutiful son, has been there the whole time doing the right thing, and I really had a problem. Because I was the elder son. I don't think I'm the only one. So in the prodigal son, we all know that there's the father, and he has two sons, and the younger says, I want what's mine, want half what's coming to me, and I want to go out and experience the world. And so the father divides up his fortune, gives half to the younger son and half to the older son. The younger son, we know, goes out with harlotans and supposedly wastes his money, but he's out experiencing life and squandering his fortune. Finds himself eating with the pigs, with the swine. And he had a realization that, there's servants in my father's house that are getting taken care of. And I've really erred here. And I'm going to go back to my father's house and I'm going to serve him. And so he has this realization about how wonderful his father is. He goes back, and the father, of course, is so glad to see his son. He runs and hugs his neck and kisses him and gives him his robe, his ring, and his shoes, and has the fat calf slaughtered to have a big feast. And so the elder brother is in the field and says, what's going on out there? And they said, your younger brother has returned, and we're having a party. And he was a little upset. And he says, behold, how many years have I served you, and I never disobeyed your commandment, and yet you never gave me a kid that I might marry with my friends? For this son of yours, after he was wasted your wealth and harlots and come back to you, you have killed the fat ox. And the father said to him, my son, you are always with me. Everything which is mine is yours. So if we look at the elder brother was doing what he thought was right. I'm going to serve the father because this is the right thing to do. Because I'm going to be the good, diligent son and not waste my money so I can have what the father has. I'm going to do what's right. And anything that's different from what I do must not be right. Because I am obeying the laws here. Okay? So, and the younger son goes out and returns, has his experience and grows and returns. And the father adorns him with the robe and the ring and the shoes, which represents that the father is adorning him with his royalty of the kingdom. This is your identity. You are the son of the Father. You are royalty. I've given you my ring and my robe. This is what you're clothed in. You're my son. And isn't that wonderful? That's wonderful. So if we can think about following our heart and not our head. When we're trying to serve God and do everything that's right, we're being a servant to God and not open to receiving what is already ours. When we're living in our heart, we are already we are acting as the Son of God, and we are already in the kingdom and have everything that the Father has. Does that make sense? So if we're following our heart, and our heart is turning to God, that opens us up to who we truly are already. Instead of being the servant, always trying to attain something mentally. How can I get it? How can I get it? We just have to open, and it's ours. Got it? All right. This is the last one. Promise. Okay. The third parable, I don't know what it's called. I call it the bad servant. Bad servant. It's in Matthew 23 through 34. And again, Jesus says the kingdom of heaven is likened to... there was a kingdom, he said, therefore the kingdom of heaven is likened to a king when wanted to take an accounting from his servants. So the king brought his servant forth and said, you owe me some money. And the servant says, I can't pay what I owe. And the king said, well, you're going to have to sell you, your wife, and all your children, and everything that you have to pay me. And then the servant fell down on his knees and worshiped him and said, please be patient with me. I'll do everything I can to pay you back. And then the king canceled the debt. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Don't we do that to God? God, please, please. Just this one time. And then that servant then went out to people that owed him money, said, I'm collecting my debt. And the man said, I can't pay you now. Please have patience with me. And what did the servant do? Choked him, strangled him. You have to give me my money. So his fellow servant fell down at his feet and begged him, saying, have patience with me and I will pay you. But he was not willing, and he went and had him put into prison until he should pay him what he owed him. And when the fellow servants heard what happened, they were really sorry, and they informed their master of what had happened. And then the master called him and said, oh, wicked servant, I canceled all your debts because you begged me. Was it not right for you to have mercy on your fellow servants, just as I had mercy on you? So his master was angry and delivered him to the scourges until he should pay everything until he owed him. And so when we look at this parable about how are we behaving, how are we asking for God to help us? How are we moving through our world and asking for what we want, yet then do not turn around and give the same graciousness to someone who has the same energy that we just experienced? And so, to pass by the debts of others is very key. So the master forgave the debt, and then the servant then did not give the debts of others. And when we're in our world, we may behave like we are holding everyone accountable to us. That you owe me this, or you did this, and we are their judge and punisher until we think that they have owed enough. Whether it's emotionally, monetarily, experience. And so to think about the forgiveness. Let's forgive, because we're always asking God to forgive our debts. or a thought that we sent out, God, we wish we canceled that.